joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this cute Stampabella image called Melissa Loves Movies. Isn't she cute? I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies that I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I have already stamped my images on Nina 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. Alright, so first off, I'm going to start off by taking my ruler and I'm going to give it a little bit of a wall here. So let's do, I'm going to put a line straight on the edge here so I know that that's straight. And let's see, do I want it this far up? Maybe a little bit more down. And then I'm just going to take my Copic multiliner and I'm going to add a couple of little lines. So let's go this side. And then we'll do one on this side. And then I'm going to move my ruler down a little bit. And I'm going to do a couple of smaller lines, so I'm not going to go quite as far. We'll give it like there's an appearance of a wall here. Like that, to start off. And then we are going to do our outline. So for that today, we're going to use C21000 in the Colorless Blender. I wanted it to be a little bit thicker this time so it looks like she's in the house and it's a lot watching a movie, so it's a little bit darker back there. So I'm going to start with my C2 and let's start right here at the little chick, and I'm just going to do a small line around the edge all the way around to the other side of the chair. And I'm trying not to make it too thick. Move this around over here a little bit so I can see a little bit better. And I'm just going to go all the way around. Over here, go around my little bird. And then we're going to go back down to the other side. Like that. And then I'm going to add C1. So I'm going to go ahead and just go right over the top of C2. But I'm going to add a little bit. So let's go a little bit further out. And I'm just going right along the edge. Give it a little bit more shadow out here. Let's turn it like this, and then we'll add a little bit here to our bird, and back up to the side there. Okay, and then we're going to add C0. So again, I'm just going to go right along the edge of C1. And we're going to broaden that out a little bit more. Back down to the bottom. And then same thing with C00. So let's go right along the edge of C0. And I'm going to kind of use this to go a little bit fatter. So let's go clear to the edge of the chair, but still going past all the colors that we already laid down. So we're making our line even wider. Back down this side. And down to the edge of our wall. And then I'm going to take my Colorless Blender and I'm going to touch down on the white of my chair or the chick here, and I'm going to do little swirls over the entire thing out past the edge of the C00. So I'm kind of smushing all those colors together. And this will work best if your Colorless Blender is full or not empty and dry and squishy, dragging on your paper. And if you do this outlining first, then you don't have to worry about touching the chair or any of the coloring that might get touched and erased. And I got a little bit up here. I'm going to go over a second time, swirl it a little bit more. Get rid of a couple of those little lines. Like that. Next, let's do her skin and her cheeks. For skin, we're going to use E21, E00, E000, and for her cheeks, I'm going to use R11. I don't want them to be too rosy. She's inside watching a movie. So I'm going to start with my E21. I'm going to go right along the edge of her pants bottom and down here, and then I'm going to go on the inside of her leg and across this little pom-pom of her slipper. And same for this side. Let's go across her slipper and the inside of her leg like that. And then we're going to add E00. So I want to touch down on my E21 and flick over here to our white. Same for this side. And then I'll take my E000 and just fill in that little patch of white that I have left. Okay, then let's go up here and we'll do her hand and her little arm, a little bit of her arm showing. So over here we got some fingers. So I'm going to color this bottom one and then add a little bit to the bottom of each of these. And then our hand over here has got a little bit of her arm showing. And then I'm going to fill it in with E00. And same for our hand here because there's not too much there. And then we'll move up here to her face and her neck. So again, I'm going to start with my E21. I'm going to go under the bottom of her chin and down the left side of her neck, like that. And then over here we'll do her ear. And then let's do a little bit up here in her bangs. And I think I'll bring this color down here to her neck. And then I'm going to add E00. I'm going to color this ear in. And then I just want to flick this color in towards the center. Oh, don't forget her neck. I'll go ahead and fill that in. And then I'm going to take my E000 and go across this white patch. And then I'm going to add R11 for my cheek color. And then let's do E00 again on the sides of her cheeks, like this. And then we'll go over the entire thing with our E000. For her hair, let's use E37, 25, and 42. I'm going to start with my E37, and let's do her little bun up here first. So for that, I'm just going to do, she's got some swirls here in her bun that are drawn on there. I'm just going to lightly go over those. And then let's add some streaks coming down away from her little top knot. And then we want to go up from her bangs. And then let's do over here. I think I'll do a little bit more over on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to add E25. So I want to again just add some stripes coming down away from her top knot. And then up from her bangs. And then a few more swirls in her bun. And then I'm going to fill it in with E42. And you could leave some white in there too if you like that look. I can never get that right. So so I prefer to just color it all the way in. And then I'm going to go back with my E37 and add just a little bit more of this dark back in to add a little bit more streaks here. So next I want to do the pillow. For that we're going to use C5, C00, and the colorless blender. And I'm going to start with C5. And let's go over here and I'm just going to add some dark to the little wrinkles that are already on the pillow. So here's one. And I'm trying not to leave my pin, I'm trying to go pretty fast on those marks, because the longer you leave your pin on there, the more ink it's going to suck up and the wider your line's going to be. So I don't want them to be too wide. This, and over here, oops. Go on this one, and then she's got a couple down here, and let's go along, there's two pillows, so there's one a little edge, so I want to go along the edge of this bottom, or this top one. And there's a little bit over here. Okay, and then I'm going to take C00, and I just want to go over the top of those lines. So I'm just going to lightly go over those, make them a little bit wider, and softening them. This, and then I'm going to go along the edge of the pillow under the little chick here and around her arm. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to wipe lightly over the whole top of that pillow. And I wanted to do the pillow now so I wouldn't have to worry about touching her pajamas or the popcorn or anything like that and smearing it. For her pajamas, let's use BG 18, 13, and 11. I'm going to start with my BG 18. Let's add a little bit up here on her pajama top that's next to the popcorn kernels. And then we'll go down the V of her shirt. And up over this little chick's head. And down the inside of her arm. And then we want to do the bottom of her arm. And then for her legs, I'm going to do the inside of the right leg. And then where the legs touch right here, I'm going to do the inside of that leg. And then I'm going to grab my BG 13. I'm going to touch it to the tip of my BG 18 and scrape a little bit of that off, add it, and then I just want to lightly go right next, or right over the top of my BG 18 and just soften that edge a little bit, because BG 18 to 13 is a pretty big difference, so I don't want it to be quite such a harsh line on there. A little bit more, and down this leg. Okay, and then I'm going to take my BG 13 and I'm just going to add a little bit more. And then we'll take BG 11 to fill the rest of that in, including the collar of her shirt. and the cuffs of her pajama bottoms. Okay, then we're going to hop down here and we're going to do our slippers. So again, start with your BG18, and I'm going to do that right along the edge of this slipper and the back of this slipper. And then let's do a little bit on each of those like that. And then again, you want to grab your BG13 and tip to tip it on your BG18. And then we'll add just BG13. And then we'll go over the entire thing with our BG11. And I'm just going to go in a little circle here, and that will push the ink around and soften the whole center because it's a lot lighter than the other two. Next, let's work on the chicks. For those, we're going to use Y26, 23, 13, and for their beaks, we're going to use YR07. I'm going to go ahead and do their beaks and their feet first. So I'm going to take my YR07, and I didn't do anything special or spectacular. I just colored those in because they're pretty small. Here's one over here, and then he's got a couple little feet showing there above her arm. And then this little guy, and he's got a little bit of his feet showing. And then here's one over here. Like that. And then under the chair here, you've got one showing down here. We're not going to color that because we're going to cover that up with the stool. But this little guy right here has got his feet showing. He's hunting for popcorn, I guess, underneath the chair. Then let's do color the bodies. So for that, let's start with Y26. Let's start with this little guy. Bring this around his feet. And I'm going to flick this color out just a little bit from the edge. And then I'm going to add Y23. And then my Y13. And I'm going to go ahead and brush that over the entire thing. We'll swoosh all that together and give it a little bit more of a bright yellow color. And then let's hop up here. And again, we're going to start with Y26. And let's start with this little guy. Go right along his bottom of his face. And then let's do his wing. And then we'll add Y23. And then Y13. And then let's start with Y26 again for this next little guy. So for him, let's do a little bit on his wing. And then he's got a little bit of his body showing here between his wings, so I'm going to fill that in. And then this wing. And again, here's a little bit of his body showing. And let's do a little dab over here. Then we'll add Y23. And then Y13. Okay, again, let's start with Y26. And for this little guy, let's go down the edge of his body there. And then we'll go in the middle here. And then I'm going to do, oh, he's got a little bit underneath of his wing showing down here, so let's do that. And then we'll add Y23. And then Y13 to fill it in. And then this cute little guy over here. So again, let's do Y26 first. And then Y23. And then Y13 to fill him in. For the popcorn, let's use Y18, and I'm not going to fill the whole popcorn in. I just want to dab a little bit around on each kernel so they have some white, so it looks like they've got maybe a little bit of butter on them. And then she's dropped a couple down here, so let's go ahead and do that to these. And then we'll leave those like that. For the popcorn bucket, let's use R39, R37, and R32. And I'm going to do R39 and R37 for some of the stripes and then R32 for the alternate stripes. So I'm going to start with R39 and I'm going to pick a big stripe. So let's pick this one right here in the middle so I know where I'm starting here. And then I'm going to try to skip one. Add a little bit to each alternate stripe. Try not to color her shirt. I'm going to go ahead and color this last stripe over here all the way in. It's pretty tiny. Okay, then we're going to skip one. And then there's a wider one, and then we'll do this little skinny one. And then again, this last one over here. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of the tops of those stripes with R37. And they're pretty small, so you got to use just the tip of your pen. And this big one here has this extra little crease there at the top, and I just filled that in with the color there, so I didn't have to color that little dinky stripe. And then this one. And then I filled in the alternate stripes with R32. And I try not to color her pajamas or the pillow. So let's do the chair legs and the stool legs next. For that, we're going to use E77, 74, and 71. I'm going to start with my E77. And let's do this way. And then for this one, we'll do this way. And then we'll add E74. And then we'll fill them in with our E71. And then this side. And then we'll do the stool legs. Let me grab that. Move my girl over here. So again, you're going to start with E77. We're going to do right along the inside of this leg and the inside of this side. And then we'll do E74. And then E71. Let's do the blue stripes on the stool next. For that, we're going to use BG 45 and 15. So I'm going to start with BG 45, and let's see, we're just going to do alternate stripes. So let's make this one pink, and then we'll do this one blue, and skip one, and go all the way across. And you could do the opposite stripes if you wanted. And this one. And then we're going to fill them in with our BG 15. And I think I'll go with my BG 45 and just go over that edge just a little bit. And I guess I could have went the opposite direction. You could do a BG 15 on the bottom and then the BG 45 on the top. It looks like the BG 15 is maybe just a little bit darker. For the rest of the stool, we're going to use R85, 83, and 81. I'm going to start with my R85, and let's do the stripes down here first. And I left this little ruffle down here white. I'm just going to flick up from the bottom. And a little bit to each stripe. And then I'm going to add R83. Go across each one a little bit more. And then I'm going to fill it in with my R81. I'm going to go a little bit over this line down here for my R85. Got a little bit left there. I'll soften that just a little bit. I missed a little spots right here on the side. Fix that. Okay. And then for the top of the stool, I'm going to again start with my R85. And let's go right along the edge here. And I'm going to cut this out. So if you go outside the lines, that's totally fine. And we're going to come around the edge of our stool over here. And then let's do the edge over here. And then I'm going to, I want to brush this out a little bit more. So let's go this and lengthen it towards the back. Same for this one. Let's go smaller in the front. And as we go towards the back, we'll add a little bit more. And then we're going to add R83. Brush right over the top of that. and then we'll add R81. For the chair, we're going to use R89, 85, 83, and 81. And I'm going to start with my R85, or sorry, R89. And let's do, well, let's see here. Let's do right next to this cushion. Try not to color your pillow. So I'm going to go down the edge of that cushion. Go this. And then I want to do a thin line along the bottom of the pillow. Go right along like this. And it's really dark, so be careful. Don't touch anything else, because you'll never get that off. And then for the cushion over here, on this side, let's go right along the edge. Like that. And then we'll pick up R85. And we want to soften that up a little bit, so let's go right along the edge of that. And I'm going to go next to her foot. And out here. I think I'll brush just a little bit away from her leg. And then we'll add R83. Fill in the center section. And then we'll go over that with our R81. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go over here. Let's do this bottom cushion next, the bottom part of the chair here. So again, I'm going to start with my R85. And let's go right along the edge here, and there's a couple little corner spots that she drew on here. I'm going to go right around those, and then I'm just going to draw out here that far because the stool's going to be in here. And then same thing for this side. Let's go around this corner. And again, the stool's going to be over here, so you don't have to go all the way across. You can if you want. Let's just go all the way across, that way we don't have to worry about missing a spot. I had to think of what I wanted to say there. Okay, so now let's do underneath of her foot. Like she's got her foot stuck on there and it's causing an indent. Okay, then we're going to add R85. So R85, we're going to go away from this stuff on the top. And then we want to brush this out like so. And same for this side. Oh, in between her slippers here. Let's get over there. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We want to brush away from that. And I'm going to bring this again all the way across. Then I'm going to add R83. then R81. Now I think my stool is going to go up a little bit higher. It's going to go up, I don't know, about right here. So I'm going to take my R85 again, and let's just brush that color back on. But I want to bring it up a little bit more, maybe up in here. And we'll add R83. And then R81. Okay, I like that. Okay, and let's go over here and we'll do this side of the couch cushion. So I'm going to start not with R89 this time, with R85. And let's do, I'm going to fill in, whoops, sorry, R89. Let's do a little bit right here on the edge of my cushion. And then we're going to grab R85. And let's fill in this intersection. And then I'm going to take this color and we're going to go around the chick's arm and down next to that pillow. And then we want to come over the top of this little cushion. And we're going to bring this color down around the edge. This, and then let's do this little swirl, and then we'll bring this color down again on this side. Okay, then I'm going to grab R83 and let's fill in this top little patch, and then we're going to bring this in here, soften that edge, and then we'll take R81 to fill it in. Okay, let's hop over here and we'll do the other side. So again, I'm going to start with my R89. And let's do along the bottom of the cushion or the chair on this side, like this. And then I'm going to add a little bit underneath of this little chick's hand over here, or his wing, like that. And for the inside, let's see, did I do some stuff in here? There's a little patch of chair right here, so let's cover that. Then I grabbed R85. And we're going to do that just like we did the last time. So let's go around the swirl. And then we want to soften where this really dark color is underneath of his arm, or his wing. And I'll bring it down the side. And back up this side. Like that. And then for this section, let's go up, like that, and maybe a little dab up here at the top. And then we're going to add R83. We're just softening that edge. And then we'll add R81. The R81 really helps soften the edges of that R85. Alright, so that leaves us at the back of the chair. So again, let's start with R89, and I'm going to start that up here at the girl's little bun. So I'm going to start this right here next to her head, and we're going to come down like that, and we're going to go around this cute little chick, and then we're going to go around this pillow. That. And then we're going to grab R85, and she's got a little bit of the chair showing through her neck right here, so I'm going to color that, and there's a little spot here underneath of her ear. I'm going to color that in before I forget. Okay, then we're going to take this pen, and let's color this side over here. And then we want to bring this up. I'll flick up this way, and then I want to bring this color around her bun. And let's go right next to her real quick so I can make sure I don't have to get too close. And down around our cute little chick on this side. And same thing on this side, we want to flick this color up a little bit. And then I also want to do a little dab up here along the edge of her chair. So let's bring this across like that. And then we're going to go with R83, and we're going to add some color to our top. And then along the edge here again. And then we want to fill that in with our R81. Whoops. I'm going to go up here with the R83 real quick before I forget this little section right here. I'm going to fill that in. And then we'll grab R81 and go ahead and go over that. And let's brush up and fill in the rest of this area. And give this side another sweep. And I think I'll do this side one more time. Then I'm going to take a quick break to cut out my stool, and we'll do the ground. Okay, so I got my stool all cut out, and I put a little dab of temporary adhesive on the back so I can pull it up. But I want my stool to cover up these little wings down here. So I kind of use the edge here that pokes out the most as my guide to sit on the edge of that wing. And then I try to keep it even on this side. And then I'm just going to tap it down because later I want to pop that up in pop dots. And then for the ground, we're going to use W1, E70, and W00. I'm going to start with my W1. And I'm going to use that to go right along the edge here. Up here underneath that chick just a little bit more. And then I want to go around each one of these pieces for my chair. And I'm going to dab it right in here. And we're going to go around this chair on this side. And then we also want to add a little bit underneath of our popcorn over here. Like that. And then let's go like so. And then over here, let's do again up against the wall over here. And then we're going to go up underneath of our chair. Like that. And then I'm going to pick this off. Set that over here on the side. Make sure you've removed your temporary adhesive from your piece. So I did that. Now I'm going to take my W. Now that I know where the stool is, I'm going to take my W1 again. And I'm just going to make sure I brush it clear inside. I didn't want to touch the stool, so I just kind of did me a little outline. That, and then I'm going to grab E70, and we're just going to add some of this pinkish purple in here. And maybe a little bit over here on this side. And then we're going to go with W00. For this, we're just going to swipe clear across. Don't try not to color your popcorn. And go over those last two colors. And just soften those all together. And I think I'll go back with my E70 just a little bit more and maybe put some underneath the shadows for these popcorn. And then maybe where my legs for my stool are going to be. Legs for my chair. And then again, the little stool, I'm going to pop on some pop dots, and I'm going to set it right back on here like this. So then you've got some little shadows underneath there added to the stool without having to color on top of your little stool. So there is our beautiful Melissa Loves Movies all colored up. Didn't she turn out cute? I love her. So again, here is my finished card. So on my card I have added Spica glitter pin to her hair so it's all sparkly and shiny. Other than that, I didn't add any other sparkles to that. And I also, when I did my stamping for this, I used my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig so I could get the chair straight on the paper. And she's a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch from the top of your piece. And then I also used my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig to add these little pieces of popcorn so they wouldn't end up underneath of my stool. I kind of laid the stool there. I cut it out and laid it there so I'd kind of know where to put this. And then I colored my whole piece before I stamped this with Versamark, because Versamark and Copic markers do not go together. Or not VersaFine ink. I tend to like that best for sentiments because it's darker than the Memento when I use it. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, have a great day and we'll see you next time. Bye.